Alright guys, we are here today. This is Aaron. This is Cooking with A-Aron. Alright, we're going to be grilling up a ribeye and also a New York strip. These are probably two of my favorite cuts of steak. But man, look at these beauties. Got them on sale. Oh yeah. First thing we're going to need to do is put some rub on there. So my favorite all-time rub is this bad boy, Spade L. Ugh. I put it on everything. Beef, pot roast. I've even put it, they got a pork version, they got fish, they got all sorts of stuff. So don't be shy with it, rub it on. You could also just do salt and pepper. That's also good. Today we're going to do the Spade L though. I did dry brine these. I covered them with some sea salt, and they sat in the fridge for about 2 hours just to get that in there. Now I find that really helps. All right, let's go outside and get that grill fired up. This is my Gorilla Grill. Man, I love this thing. It is cool. It uses all the surface area because of the round shape. There's no hot spots or cold spots. It is the bomb. All right, got them on there. I actually have 4 because I'm feeding the kids, but there they are. Looking good. When I'm barbecuing, I love to have a cigar, some Scotch, bourbon, whatever. Because, you know, most of these cooks are 45 minutes minimum, all the way up until 12 plus hours, depending on what you're cooking. And these little guys are great. So what we're going to do is we are smoking a My Father cigar, and it's a sun-grown. It is delightful. It's one of my favorite. My Father is just one of my favorite brands. I'm going to give you a little view of what we're smoking at there. Come on, camera. There you go. Yeah, right away you get a nice, just earthy kind of. A lot of times some of the stronger cigars you get some pepper. This is not that. This is. I'm not one of these nerds. Sorry, nerds. I'm not one of these guys who can give you all the fancy lingo on what I'm tasting, but I either like a cigar or I don't. So there you go. What I can help you out on is Scotch. So today we are going to be drinking Monkey Shoulder. This is a blended malt Scotch whiskey, and man, it's like $30 or less, and it is one of the best, lower end, affordable scotches, and this is one I have on my shelf all the time. It's just so good, so balanced. Whoever blended this fricker, yeah. It says selected by our malt master, and you can't even read his handwriting, so, whatever. But no, if you haven't tried Monkey Shoulder, you gotta try it. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Of course, with a cigar. Alright, so while we're smoking, let's talk about steak. Years ago, I was listening to PBS, on a road trip. I was driving from Boise to Chicago. It was a long freaking trip. And anyway, they were talking about the science of meat, and it was a scientist on there. And anyway, the longer you can hold your meat at 100 degrees, the more tender it gets. So I used to do the slow and low, 170 degrees, 200 degrees, and just let it bake in the oven or on the smoker and just slowly get it the center to 100 degrees and try and maintain that temperature as long as you can. The longer it's on there, it's going to just keep tenderizing. Now I pretty much do a reverse sear where I'll stick it on at 250, run it until it hits about 120, 123 degrees, somewhere in there, pull it off, let it rest until I get back down. It's going to go up at least 8 to 10 degrees. And then once it drops back down to about 125, I reverse sear it. Tonight we did it on the cast iron. Perfect. I wasn't feeling like I was out of charcoal, so I wasn't going to fire up my charcoal grill. And man, works out. So that's my plan. We're just going to sear it on the cast iron. But the beauty is keeping that temperature, watching it, making sure you don't get over 130 to 140 degrees. You want to stay in that sweet spot. And if you let it rest and cool down before you reverse sear it, you're not going to overcook it because you're only searing for about a minute per side just to get some color, get a nice crust on it. But in between there, man, while it's cooking on the grill, enjoy smoke. Alright guys, we are sauteing some mushrooms and onions, and we're going to make our sauce. So first thing we need is heavy whipping cream and whatever kind of Scotch, bourbon, whiskey you like. Pour a little bit of that in there, and then you add your heavy whipping cream, about a cup. Kind of eyeball it, doesn't really matter. And we're going to let that simmer and just thicken up. And I did cook the onions and mushrooms a little bit before, kind of get them mostly done, and then add this to the backside. And then adding pepper, and more pepper. This is one of those dishes that there's literally not enough pepper you can add. You want some kick to it, you want that pepper, so just go crazy. And then we're just going to let that simmer a little bit. Alright guys, it is time to sear. They've rested for about 10 minutes. Got the temperature down at around, back down to about 124. It got all the way up to 135, which is about perfect, which is what I was shooting for. And we're going to sear these bad boys off. Just 1 minute aside. You can do this on a barbecue. You can crank up the smoker, take the heat deflector out if you want to do it that way. However you want to do it, but you just want a nice crust on there. And you definitely want to make sure that you let it rest before you sear, in this case, as it's a reverse sear. We don't want to get that temperature back up or over 135. Alright, let's just listen to that sizzle. This, my friends, is the New York strip. Cooked perfectly. Look at that juice. Then we got the ribeye Again, a nice medium rare. Just looking fantastic. It's the final test. We hung out while these cooked steaks, these steaks cooked, and we enjoyed some scotch and a cigar. And now we have a amazing ribeye and also a New York strip. And we made our sauce, and so we're gonna give them a try. See where we're at. Oh my God, they're so tender. Mm. Mm. I'm telling you, ribeye is so good. Oh, and that sauce with the bourbon or scotch in there, man, delicious. So that one's pretty good. That's gonna be hard to beat. All right, let's try the strip. So I was trying to get one of my kids to come out and take video and try this, but they're too busy on video games, so they're missing out. Mm. A little more density compared to the ribeye, but man, the flavor's on point. God, I kind of feel like I need another one of those. And if you've never made this sauce, you do yourself a favor. It is so delicious. Mm. Alright, see if I can... Oh, dude, I can cut it with a fork. Look at that. Mm. So good. Alright, back to the ribeye. The ribeye is definitely more tender. The ribeye just tends to be, especially when you get that outer part. That's basically fillet, which is my favorite part. Mm. I'm telling you guys, you gotta try this. Alright, so that's it for me tonight. You know, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the process of the barbecue. Take your time. Low and slow is always good, but, you know, have yourself a drink, smoke a cigar, you know, however. Before I go, I'm gonna try one other thing. So the other night, I made up some horseradish sauce. It should be on when I did prime rib, and I'm telling you, man, I love putting pretty much any kind of meat in this horseradish. So I'm gonna try a little bit on this. Oh my God. Yeah. Pretty much putting that on everything. Alright guys, till see you next time. Keep cooking.